And finally, it's time to close out the show, today's show, with a Impact Wrestling topic, which is not something I normally do, because like I said, they're not really a prominent figure in professional wrestling. They haven't been. They've taken a backseat to WWE, and they've taken a backseat to AEW, and in the past few months, they've taken a backseat to Ring of Honor, since Ring of Honor Wrestling is pretty much ending at this point. But one thing I do like that Impact Wrestling has done is that at their upcoming pay-per-view, Hard to Kill, in early January, taking place in Dallas, Texas, they have a stacked card. They have Moose defending the Impact World Championship in a triple threat match against Matt Cardona and W. Morrissey. Run-of-the-mill triple threat match. Nothing wrong with that. Moose retains. No problem. You have a match that should main event that show, which is the Texas Death Match, where Mickie James defends her Knockouts Championship against the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo. They had a banger, a slobber knocker at Bound for Glory. I can't wait for this pay-per-view match. Again, should be the main event of this show. It is, after all, Dallas, Texas, and it is, after all, a Texas Death Match between two of the best, not just female wrestlers out there, wrestlers, performers out there, period. That should main event this show. You have former champion Josh Alexander going up against a guy who has surprised me. The former Bronson Reed made his debut a few weeks ago on Impact Wrestling as Jonah. That's gonna be not a wrestling match. It's gonna be a brawl at Hard to Kill between those two stars. Looking forward to that. But now you've got a 6-woman Ultimate X match, where the winner will get a future shot at whoever the Knockouts champion is. I mean, you got Rosemary, you got Jordynne Grace, you got Lady Frost. I think you got Madison Rayne and Tennille Dashwood, maybe. I'm blanking on a few of those names, but it's a pretty good lineup for that first ever Ultimate X Knockouts match. And I just gotta say, this is one thing that Impact Wrestling should be doing a lot more. They should be giving the Knockouts division and the Knockouts themselves the Ultimate X matches, the Iron Women matches, the Texas Death matches, the Full Metal Mayhems. You should put them in these gimmick matches and give and highlight their abilities to be main eventers and be these household stars for their shows, for Impact Wrestling. That's what they should be doing with Impact Wrestling going forward. And I know I say a lot of controversial things on this show, and it's not just to piss people off. This is truly what I think. I would like a whole lot less, just get rid of it completely, of intergender wrestling in Impact Wrestling. In my opinion, they did that. They tried it almost 2 years ago with Tessa Blanchard. They made headlines. They made her the Impact World Champion, the first female to win the Impact World Champion. And they made headlines. They got the wrestling world's attention. And then because of the pandemic, that helped, unfortunately, it blew up in their face. And then later, attempts involved Jordynne Grace, who is a fantastic bodybuilder, a great in-ring performer. They had her attempt to become X Division champion. That did not happen. You had her in multi-man matches in intergender wrestling, which again I think is just ridiculous. Intergender wrestling is just ridiculous because it does not happen in any other sport. You don't see men versus women in other professional sports. I'm not saying that they can't beat up the men. They can. Hell, every single woman on that roster can beat the shit out of me. I'm not saying they can't. All I'm saying is that doesn't happen in any other sport. It doesn't happen in any other professional wrestling company out there. You want to use that as a tagline of, oh, we're different, we do this. Takes me out of the show completely. And yes, it happens in other forms of entertainment. Movies, where we know it's scripted. But this is a hybrid sports entertainment. We're expected to believe that someone like Chelsea Green can actually beat Fallah Bahh in a match, in a scripted contest, where Fallah Bahh is supposed to hold back because she's fighting a female in the match. He can't go all out because this is a wrestling match. You have to abide by those rules. Again, takes me out of the match completely. So once Impact Wrestling does that, once they get completely rid of all intergender wrestling, and I'm not just talking about the matches themselves. I'm talking about these segments where you have, like this past Thursday, I believe, just last night, you had Chelsea Green getting involved in the main event rivalry between Moose and Matt Cardona, where Moose actually tried to get physical with Chelsea Green, and Chelsea ended up eating a steel chair shot to the head by her fiance, Matt Cardona. Ridiculous. And there's no real stakes to it because it happens all the time. It's not shocking because it has happened previously. We've seen Chelsea Green against Fallah Bahh. We've seen Chelsea Green against Rohit Raju. We've seen that. It's not shocking at all. It's not like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. She got herself into that situation. It's not shocking. It's not must-see television. Intergender wrestling is just hurting the main business. You want to have it as a main attraction on the independents? Fine, be my guest. Don't do it. If you want to be a top-notch wrestling company, don't do it on a main stage. That's just my opinion. But overall, Ultimate X, Hard to Kill, winner gets a Knockouts championship match in the future. Couldn't be more excited. I'm hoping. Again, I know I say this a lot, but if it were up to me, Hard to Kill would open with a 6-women Ultimate X match, and then it would close out the show with a Texas Death match for the Knockouts title. You got your curtain jerker, and you got your main event. All female dominant for Hard to Kill. Impact Wrestling, if you're watching, free ideas, no charge at all. But anyway, what do you think about my thoughts? Are you looking forward to the Ultimate X match coming up at Hard to Kill? Do you agree with my opinion on intergender wrestling and main top-notch actual professional wrestling companies that are on actual TV shows, on networks? Leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions, and quote-unquote hate comments on the comment section below.